It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Yeah, it's the sound of the police. It's not the sound that I need, though. I can tell you that. You know, this is, I want to make sure that we understand what we're doing here today. We're going to go ahead and just get the whole story out as much as we can in the 2 hours because it needs to be told, and it needs to be in one place that we can talk, because they'll go, well, a criminal investigation, and they're going to, and they might, and you say, and then they'll have the transcript. Well, didn't you say on the show, and blah. Yeah, you're assuming it's even going to get to that point. And anything that we do here will be to make sure that there is an investigation and that they'll try, in any investigation that government does when we're talking this kind of corruption, death, dying, and destruction kind of investigation stuff. When they do this, it will be only to poo-poo it. Or they'll give up some sacrificial lamb and say, yeah, you're right. This guy and this guy, bad guys, they should something, bad. And that's it. We know better. We've been covering this stuff for a long time. I know exactly what's going on, and I don't even have to know what's going on. When Ed would first come and sit, and I go, look, Ed, let me tell you what I know is going on. This, and this, and I don't even know anything. How far off am I? Yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. So it's because what government always does. It's the mindset of the people that seek these positions. But sometimes the people are just that moved to Quartzite in the middle of the nothing to get away from this very thing are the ones that are targeted the most. They're the ones least likely to capitulate to the edicts and respect my authority and, don't film me and you can't record and whatever stuff of people getting the information of what's going on. They're going, oh, they're targeted. How many times has Jennifer been arrested, Ed? I mean, it's been like, 12 times or something?
Actually, it started out with an illegal search of her home and business, a warrantless search, and she has since then filed a lawsuit against the town and its officials. Since that lawsuit became official in the last few months here, she's been arrested 4 times. I've even been arrested for suggesting to the chief of police that arresting her was not in the best interest of the taxpayers and that, what was he, some kind of idiot, that he was giving her and her lawyer a field day in court? So I got arrested for 2 counts of disorderly conduct and 1 count of interfering, for trying to protect the taxpayers of Quartzite.
Okay, now was this before or after becoming mayor?
Oh, no. I was arrested on the steps going into the council meeting as mayor.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So my point is that if you're going to have any kind of a government, the only justification for the government is that it protects individual rights. That's its role. That's what it's for. That's what it does. If it doesn't do that, well, then they're bad guys. So what is your recourse? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and talk about some of the stories. This is what's going on. We have the individuals that moved there to get away from this could see the encroachment of government on their rights. And whenever they would resist, well, then they would be targeted. This is how it's done. It's almost like a playbook. They get city attorneys. They get, a lot of times the county attorney is on their side. They already know the game plan, how this is going to work. Then they have the city manager. Somebody's got to, they have ordinances and they got to enforce it, and they tell the police chief, go out there and write tickets, and anybody that resists, that's not with them, they're against them. So they go out and they just bleed you to death if you don't show up for your court thing, or you refuse to pay and you appeal and you go, the deck is stacked against you. And if they can get you on a criminal violation, well, then you got fees and fines, and it keeps going on, and it can be a criminal record. Now, this happens to people out there to where, if they fight this thing, all of a sudden, then they change ordinances. People, they get mad and they say, I'm going to run for office against them. So then they change the law on who can run against them. Tell us about that one, Ed.
Oh, yeah, well, 2 years ago, they passed a law in Quartzite that if you owe fines, fees, or money to the town of Quartzite, you can't run for office. this very thing has been before District 1 Appellate Court. The ruling was, if I can put it, I think, is that towns, cities, and counties exist under a contract granted by the state of Arizona and are possessory of no authority or powers not granted specifically in the general laws of the state of Arizona. State of Arizona never gave that authority to Quartzite, but they took it upon themselves. The Goldwater Institute was contacted by one of the persons who was denied the place on the ballot. They started an investigation, and they actually went to the Attorney General's office with their story. Attorney General says, no way, not interested, can't help at Quartzite, you know.
Okay. Now, this is something that's, over a dark cloud over Quartzite on this thing. And I'm wondering how much you know, okay? I mean, Mayor Quartzite, it's hard to see the forest for the trees when you're there. Why do you think it is that the state of Arizona is taking such a hands-off on protecting the rights of the individuals in Quartzite? Why are they so reluctant to get involved in what's obvious fraud and extortion and death, dying, and destruction there? What do you think?
Well, I do know that we have investigators on this current problem, and we were told that corruption in Arizona in small town Arizona, there's a lot of corruption cases under investigation. We may give you some time, we may not. It's just like, how far down the list are we? And thanks to your program here, we're a little further up the list.
Up the list. We're going to get you on tippy top, when it's time. Because I'll tell you how this came to our attention. Barry Hess tell me the story. How did you come across this and started this whole thing?
Well, someone sent it to me and said, you should be interested. We're getting frustrated up here in Quartzite, and we need some help. Can you do anything? And I saw it. I was aghast because I was going, man, somebody's going to make a lot of money off what happened on that video. And I had not anticipated the response. Literally from all over the world, people are seeing what happens in small town America. Same thing happened with the Mormon community up in, what was it, Arizona City?
Or Colorado City.
Colorado City.
Yeah.
And it's same kind of thing. And even in our small town in New Hampshire, 700 people. Bodie Miller, the skier's cousin, he's relatives to people I grew up with, and he's around there. Even his cousin got so harassed by the police. The kid ended up, when he got stopped the last time, pulling a gun on the cop, killing the cop. And it was just enough is enough. He had been arrested. There is a breaking point. And we're going to see that in Quartzite. I'm convinced it's not going to stop.
Yeah, I don't advocate, the violence, but it's not that you're advocating it. It's just a side effect.
Absolutely.
When you keep doing this to people, sooner or later, something breaks.
I actually went to the governor's office after. We have a situation where the Quartzite 10, 9 officers and the clerk in the police department have signed a letter to the consul, a letter of no confidence in the chief, and actually alleging felony crime.
And Quartzite even has 10 police officers?
Oh, yeah.
How many they got?
We have.
How many people are permanent residents there?
3,600, that's the census.
3,600.
Wow.
Give me a break.
We have
But when it's wintertime, it swells to how much then?
Oh, and then with 500,000 easy.
500,000. You see the reasoning? It's like, there's a bunch of money to be had. And let me tell you who wants it. Those that can get their hands on some government, that's it. And then the people said, Ed, go clean it up for us. And they go, you know what? We just changed the rules. Mayor can't clean up anything. Oh, that's how it works.